Okay, now we are fifth graders at part C of lesson 5.7, and we're going to show you how to solve the second type of division problem when there is a decimal in the divisor or in the dividend. So let's look at number 3. So the first thing you want to do is make this easier, make this expression easier to work with. So whenever there is a decimal in the divisor, what you want to do is multiply it by 10 enough times to make it a whole number. So if we were to multiply 6/10 by 10, we would essentially move the decimal one place to the right. Let me make that a little more clear. If we multiply by 10, we would move the decimal one place to the right, and this would become 6. So let's rewrite the problem. Okay. Now, if we multiply the divisor by 10, we also have to do that to the dividend. So we multiplied 6/10 by 10 so that we can work with the whole number. And let's do the same here. So if we multiply 12 and 9/10 by 10, we move the decimal one place to the right, and we get 129. All right. So essentially, we have not changed the division that we're going to complete because we multiplied both the divisor and the dividend by 10. And if this were, if there were 2 digits behind the decimal, then we would want to multiply this number by 100 so that we can get a whole number. And then we would do the same thing to the quotient. So now our new math problem, new division problem is 129 divided by 6. Okay, so how many times can 6 go into 12? That's 2. 6 times 2 is 12. We subtract. That's 0, and we bring down the 9. Okay, 6 goes into 9 one time, and you get 6. We subtract, there's 3. Okay, 3 is not large enough to be divided by 6. So we're going back to the step that we learned in the other problem. When we're completing our division and the number is not large enough to be divided by the divisor, we can add a 0, we can add a decimal in the quotient. And if we add a decimal in the dividend, if we add a decimal in the dividend, we also add a decimal to the quotient. We have not changed the value by adding the 0 and the decimal here in the dividend, and we can bring down that 0. And we know 5 times 6 is 30. And we are done. Okay? So we want you to follow these same steps to solve number 4, number 10, and number 14. Okay, so we're going to pause the video. Well, we're going to stop the video, and you're going to use these same steps, multiply the divisor by 10 enough times to create a whole number, do the same thing to the dividend, and then solve the division problem for number 4, number 10, and number 14.